Today, I'm going to explain a model that helps us learn more efficiently. It's called Bloom's Taxonomy Learning Pyramid. Bloom's taxonomy focuses on the different levels of thinking students go through when learning something new, and its learning pyramid shows which learning activities helps us remember information the best. We've all had that time where we studied for hours, yet didn't get the grade we expected, while our friend who plays video games day and night somehow aces the same test. Have you ever wondered why? Well, it's the strategy they use that matters. That one friend studies efficiently. Bloom's taxonomy is a framework used in education to describe different levels of thinking. It was designed to help teachers organize learning objectives and help students move from simple understanding to more complex thinking. Instead of just memorizing facts, students are encouraged to analyze ideas, evaluate information, and create new things. So, that one friend who games all night yet aces the test simply studies efficiently. Bloom's taxonomy has 6 levels of thinking. These levels are usually shown in a pyramid shape. They start with remembering the information and move all the way up to creating. And as you move higher in the pyramid, the thinking becomes more complex and requires deeper understanding. It starts with remembering, then it goes on to understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and finally reaching the goal of creating. The first level is remembering. This means recalling basic facts or information that you have learned before. For example, remembering vocabulary definitions, important historical dates, or scientific formulas are all examples of this level. The second level is understanding. At this stage, students explain ideas in their own words instead of just memorizing them. For example, summarizing a paragraph, explaining a concept to someone else, or describing how something works shows understanding. The third level is applying. This means using the knowledge to solve problems or complete tasks in real situations. For example, using a math formula to solve a problem or applying a scientific concept during an experiment. The fourth level is analyzing. This means breaking down information into smaller parts and examining how those parts are related. For example, comparing two ideas, identifying patterns, or explaining relationships between different concepts. The fifth level is evaluating. At this stage, students make judgments based on evidence. They may decide which solution is best, critique an argument, or justify their reasonings using facts. And final, highest level is creating. This involves combining knowledge and ideas to produce something new. For example, designing a project, inventing a solution to a problem, or creating a presentation. Here you can see the change in timeline between the 1900s and the 2000s and how learning ways have grown. Passive learning methods include activities like lectures, reading textbooks, or watching videos. In these situations, students mainly receive information rather than actively participating. Because of this, people tend to remember less information. Active learning methods involve participating in the learning process. This includes group discussions, practicing skills, or teaching someone else. These activities require students to think more deeply and engage with the material. So, in conclusion, active learning is a way better way to understand rather than passive learning. Why teaching others works. One of the most effective learning methods is teaching others. When you teach someone else, you have to organize your thoughts, explain ideas clearly, and make sure you truly understand the information to help the other person understand it as well. This helps strengthen both understanding and memory. Understanding these models can help students study more effectively. Instead of only memorizing information, students can focus on discussing ideas, practicing skills, and teaching others. These strategies lead to deeper understanding and better long term learning. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for listening, and remember to keep learning.